Now, for more on how the IPO market is shaping up this year, we're joined by Alex Tarantino. He's the Chief IPO Analyst for Privco, which is a New York-based company that conducts research on companies' IPOs. Thank you so much for joining us, Alex.
Thank you for having me, Karina.
All right, so we saw that last week was the busiest week since October of last year. Do you expect this trend to continue?
Yes, so absolutely. So we're coming off of some really spectacular performance last week. 7 IPOs hit the schedule and priced. This was very successful. Now, what are the key trends that we're looking for a successful IPO calendar going ahead? First off, the fiscal cliff came in and really...
We got past that.
We got past that. We got past the fiscal cliff, and IPO underwriters were telling their clients, listen, this is the time that the window's open, let's go do it, let's push it ahead, and that's exactly what happened last week.
Okay, and having said that, we're seeing now headlines coming out of Europe are causing a bit of a pullback on the markets. Whether that trend continues, we'll have to see in the days to follow. But, I mean, surely the fact that we had a nice run up in the markets, that's why we saw a hot IPO market. But is there anything that could derail sort of the IPO market?
So absolutely. If we look at a couple macroeconomic effects that are in the market right now, yes, they can derail the market. But traditionally, we're in a very good season for the IPO market. We're a little bit before the summer months where the IPO market tends to cool down. We've had this stellar run, I think, in the stock market in general. And there's a low volatility, I think. Despite the Cyprus ordeal, I think in the next couple months, we're going to see the strong players come out of the wood.
All right, we'll have to see. But now, Privco's 2 IPO picks in March are Marin Software and Model N. What is it that makes these 2 software companies attractive right now?
Absolutely. I think they're really niche plays in their sectors. First off, enterprise technology companies in the cloud-based software sphere, they've been doing great. We have Palo Alto Networks, we have Workday. They were really stunning successes last year. So what are investors looking for? They're looking for either growth opportunities or yield plays. You got your growth opportunities here in Marin and Model N. Okay,
and another one, just looking down the pipeline, we've got Pinnacle Foods. They're expected to go public this week. It is expected to be the biggest IPO so far this year. Now, we've seen a lot of merger activity in the food space. Exactly. Is this going to help them, and are they potentially a buyout target down the road?
Exactly. So when we look at Pinnacle Foods, we look at a very hot food sector. We have ConAgra and Campbell's Foods definitely at their 52-week highs. We have the recently announced Heinz deal that happened in February 2013 for $23 billion at a really rich valuation of about 10.3 times EBITDA. So Pinnacle Foods is really going to run the wave on these rich valuations and really just a very hot sector.
Okay, right. Speaking of hot sectors, though, I have to talk about SeaWorld because that, I think any person who grew up with, a love of animals, that kind of thing, is going to be excited about this one. But other than the fact that everybody loves animals, or a lot of them do, what is it that makes this a hot IPO? And that is coming, it's in April, right? Exactly.
So we expect SeaWorld to come in April, given the fact that, the IPO market, we're looking at it to be strong, right? Blackstone backed, in general, when IPOs are backed by a private equity interest or a sponsor backer, we're seeing 20% gains. So at SeaWorld, it's really a play on, one, it's got a great brand name. We see Asia potential. We see it being able to do what kind of Disney did and go into the Asia market, in the fact that 1 in 10 of its customers are actually coming from Asia to their SeaWorld operations.
Okay, interesting. Now, keeping it to Asia, though, and we've got to keep it short, though, I just want to ask you, we saw that last year, not a very a busy year for Asian APOs, Chinese APOs specifically in the U.S. Do you think, why is that? And do you think this year we'll see more Chinese IPOs in the U.S.?
So exactly. Last year, we saw only 2 Chinese IPOs in the U.S., and that was down from a high of 28 in 2010.
What went wrong?
What went wrong? Let's look at the regulators. The SEC is not allowing pretty much the Chinese companies to list in the United States.
Because of accounting concerns, right?
Because of accounting concerns. And so unless they lift their scripts and show, what's really underneath their operations, this is going to continue to persist.
So basically, it's a wild card for 2013. If there's some kind of deal between the accountants, then you think we might see more Chinese IPOs here?
Exactly. And it's really a valuation play, right? With the bad taint in the water, the valuation's not going to be where they want. So you have to IPO a company when the valuation is at the point you need.
Okay, Alex, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
That was great. That was Alex Tarantino. He's the Chief IPO Analyst for Privco.